Hi everyone, it's Promise Odera on again. Happy Friday. Okay, today I'm going to speak to something that I've thought about. There is a common denominator in most of the wars we see globally. Today, Israel announced that they've killed the head of Hamas in Gaza, and they're jubilating because the unprovoked, according to them, 7th of October attack from Hamas to Israel somehow has been revenged, although they still have some hostages in Gaza, which they are now calling for release of those hostages before the war can end. Now, when you look at what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, when you look at what's happening in Israel and Gaza, and even if you want to even think about what's happening in different parts of the world, let's just talk about Nigeria, Biafra. Uh, you know, I could even go on and mention even more countries. The common thing that I found with most of these countries is land dispute. Yeah, either Gaza is accusing Israel of occupation and singing from river to the sea that they don't want the Jews, or it's Ukraine, Donbass next region, claiming they want autonomy, and Russia recognizing them, which caused the war in Russia and Ukraine. Now, this is how I see it. For me, nobody wins in war. Even if somebody defeats you, maybe that person will take some losses. So for me, peace is worth more than anything. No country is more precious. No country's citizen is more precious than anybody. We're all human beings. There is only one race, and that's the human race, according to Two-Face. So for me, if I think about the evil that happened in Nigeria, versus Biafra war in 1967 to 1970, and how the whole West and the East, including Russia, United Kingdom, America, France, all these people came together to destroy a little country just because they found oil in their back door, in their backyard. It makes me think of how much land disputes, how much, who controls the land, or I don't want you to be my government, or want to govern ourselves, self-determination, have caused so much dispute, war in the world, and so much loss. There is so many open lands, there is so many deserts, there is so many places anybody can migrate and live. As a matter of fact, you're not tied into any country. You can move out of your country of birth. You can go to any country and live. There are people who are attached to about 3 countries. There are people who are born here, grew up here, father is from here, dad is from here. At the end of the day, live a good life, leave something for your family or your children, leave a good legacy and die. We don't belong here. Claiming this is my place, this is where I come from, I don't want this government, I don't want that government, is not the important thing. Claiming, oh, my people are better than your people, if you kill one of my people, you kill 10,000 of your people, is nonsense. At the end of the day, nobody even knows where they buried him. Some people are even burnt to ashes and thrown in the sea. Some people are burnt to ashes because there is no space to bury them, or there is no money to pay for their funeral. So this word is just simply vanity. And again, when you are in a position of power, try to be considerate to somebody you are more powerful than. When you are in a position of power, always understand that what you do will have repercussions, will have consequences. Decisions you take will either make or mar or affect millions of people that you might be thinking you are fighting for. Because had it been Hamas knew that the 7th of October 2023 attack will eventually last for 1 year, Even when Iran tried to step in and cause a distraction with Hezbollah, what happened? Israel kept focus, gone and got, in fact, the whole hierarchy, the whole head, the whole leaders of Hamas are killed. And that is Israel for you. Very brutal. The whole leaders of Hezbollah wiped off. Now, if they want to face Hezbollah, they will face Hezbollah head on, because those ones are more powerful, and they will also face and attack Iran. I'm saying this to say, this is the same Israel, the same Jewish people that suffered Holocaust, the worst form of evil done to mankind. Man evil against man. It was the Israelites that suffered it. Today, they are now in that position of power, and everybody across the world, including America, is begging them to stop. Is pleading with them to stop. That's because when you are in the position of power, when all the Jews have been slaughtered all over Europe, Russia, America, everywhere, nobody cared. Nobody knew one day they will be the most technologically advanced country. They will be very, very powerful. That a little country as Israel cannot be defeated by anybody. So I'm saying this to say, decisions you take might affect even your children, even those you think you are fighting against or fighting for, right? So you have to be very, very careful how you use your power, how you treat people. Look at the Biafrans today, the Igbos in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Look at the treatment that have been meted to them. Meanwhile, the oil comes from that part of the country. They've been called a dot in a circle. They've been treated so bad, yet they've traveled across the country trying to do business and help the place grow. They've been asking with one voice, sitting at home every Monday, as a form and a way of protest, that they should release Nnamdi Kanu, their leader. Nobody cares, because who cares about Igbos anyway? Governors have asked into full treaty. They've tried to stop the Monday sit at home. The Naira started crumbling. I started shouting, release Nnamdi Kanu so that Monday's businesses will start. Nobody cares. As far as it is the East, they don't care. Now you keep doing these things, the children are growing. Secondary school children will be told, oh, the reason why we don't open on Monday is because Nnamdi Kanu is sent to the prison. They will grow up with an idea. You are putting things in their head. Primary schools will be told the same. Weddings will be told. People will be told, oh, this is why we don't do this. Now, at the end of the day, people are growing with some sort of awareness. And then tomorrow you come and shout, oh, we are one Nigeria, we are one country. When it got to the turn of an Igbo man to produce a president of the country, PDP was actually created by an Igbo man, Alese Kweme. But he allowed other tribes to produce governments or to produce presidents. Both the number 1 and the number 2 seats, an Igbo man has not even entered there. Not even for one tenor, right? But at the end of the day, you want these guys to keep quiet and be part of one Nigeria with you. There is nothing government that is seen in the southeast. To even get the second Niger bridge was a war. Thankfully, Tinubu has given the Southeast Developmental Commission, a go-ahead. But we don't know what they've developed. We don't know what they've done with that, money or whatever they've assigned to Southeast. No seaport, no liver port. The Nkanu Ibiam Airport in Enugu is as small as a primary school. It's just, a lot of things are still to be desired. Everything has to be in the north, all the foreign aids to the north, loans to the north. Everything is just to one side. Marginalization can be very, very obvious, felt, seen, and people don't care. If tomorrow, perhaps, somehow, as Igbos are growing in their wealth, globally, in their recognition, and they become like Israel, people will now start crying. And this is very, very important, I'm saying this, for posterity. Whatever you are doing, be very, very, very careful. Because the posterity, the children unborn, are going to carry on either your wickedness or your kindness. Awolowo was the man that started the whole issue that started from the western side. And because the northerners who had power then could not control the west and bring peace, it led to the first military coup in Nigeria, just a few years after Nigeria's independence. That military coup was now tagged an Igbo coup, which led to the cleansing of Igbos, the genocidal killing and murdering of Igbos from Kano all the way, from the whole north, killed Igbos all the way, came down to the southeast and continued 3.5 years after, before Ojukwu surrendered. After he tried, first of all, Ojukwu is the same guy that tried to stop the coup and start the counter coup. But because he's an Igbo man, he was even tagged on all sorts of names. If you read Alex Maduebo's book, you will see all these things. I've done my research, I've seen the truth. But till today, people are still bearing that war as a reason to hate on the Igbos. They've not gone past it, and it's the truth. Now, the Holocaust is still fresh in the minds of Israelites. Do you understand? Now, at the end of the day, if you read the story of the Luhansk and the Donbass region of Ukraine, because they speak Russia, they said and they claim that the Ukrainian government treat them badly. And they keep writing to Putin to come and help them. And Putin came and helped them because, after all, USSR used to be one united big country before, they split into different countries. So whatever you are doing, especially when it comes to land dispute, especially when it comes to self-determination, do what the British did to solve their own problems when the Scottish people were claiming they want to have their own country. They simply went to a referendum. The referendum was held, people, lobbied, and what do you have? They voted to stay. When it came to British being part of the EU, a referendum was held. The Prime Minister then, David Cameron, didn't believe people will vote to leave. But because the people voted to leave, British left. The UK left the EU. I'm saying this to say, in 2024, you cannot tell Biafrans that, or the Igbos that, we don't have referendum in our constitution. Meanwhile, the constitution was made by people. You can adopt something new in the constitution. You can adopt a referendum so that Nigerian state will have some sort of original, a legitimate right that the people that make up the place called Nigeria, which was an amalgamation, that now wanted to secede, are now back together in the equation and they want to be one. Because until you have that level of patriotism, all these things we are doing is just deceiving ourselves. And as big as Nigeria is, if Nigeria should go into war with any little country for that matter, they will become so porous because of all these people that don't have any patriotism, because of all these people that don't like the country. Look at what is happening to Hamas. They killed their leader and nobody is even angry because they hate that guy. The leader of Hamas that was killed recently, yesterday or today, by Israelites, nobody even liked the guy. Nobody is even mourning for him because they don't like him. So it is very important that every government make sure they treat their people well first, and everybody in the country, not just your people, your neighbors, treat them well. Be nice to people because things can change tomorrow. Tables can turn tomorrow. You have to seek for a lasting solution, and remember, all of us are one. We bleed the same red blood cells, white blood cells. So don't try to be, my people are better than your people. These people can never be president. I am better than... Nobody is better than anybody. At the end of the day, all we have in this world is almost the same amount of time. If you don't die early and you stay, at some point you become feeble, weak, and just wasted. So let's stop all this superiority and thinking, these people are going to do this, and seek peace. Seek peace, recognize other dissenting voices, and work together to achieve one goal. For me, I would say, Putin, I don't even know what he's fighting for, because I think he knows he's superior to Ukraine. Even with everything Ukraine is getting from the West, look at how the world is suffering. Russia is doing better. And at the same time, I would say to Israel to please allow a two-state solution. Treat the Palestinians well, because they accepted you guys in the first place. And two of you are brothers anyway. And with the killing of this guy, the world should know peace. The world should know peace. There has been war for so long. Thank you so much.